Hello everyone, we are here, we are live, we are ready to go, and we are picking up, we are picking up with my flag planting marathon stream. And if you check out up here at the top left, I'm pretty sure you should be seeing it there. Yeah, you should be. You can see that I am at 14 out of 15 flags, and as you probably guessed from the title and from the thumbnail, that leaves just one flag to go, and that flag is Eve. So just to do a quick kind of recap on what this series has been all about. I started this series 17 months ago. I went back and looked it up with a marathon stream celebrating my 10,000th subscribers. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something fun. I did this 10-hour stream and try and land on every body that I could land on. And obviously I wasn't going to do all 15 possible bodies at that time. So periodically over the past year and a half, I have come back to it and picked up some more flags, as it were. And so now it is a year and a half later, and just to sort of put some things into perspectives, I did that first stream when I crossed 10,000 subscribers, and at this moment, in the next day or two, I'm going to be crossing 30,000 subscribers. So that, to me, is pretty exciting. I mean, you know, that there are that many people that do enjoy this content and do have fun with this. So, as I said, the mission today, and most definitely into the next stream and maybe the stream after that, is going to be going to Eve, getting a Kerbal down there onto the surface, planting a flag, and getting that Kerbal back. It does not count unless they get safely back to Kerbin's surface, and with Eve, getting back off of Eve is really what the big problem is. And I'll get to that in just a little bit, but just to sort of take care of a couple of things that I really should have taken care of last week, is on my Discord we have a weekly and a monthly challenge, and I like to announce the winners, and I forgot to do it next week. So I got a few winners to announce. So these weekly challenges are just post a screenshot showing something. So the first winner here, this was 2 weeks ago, there it is, Chev, and this was Weird in Space was the theme. This is his vessel, the Fart 1, and you can just make out a Kerbal getting rather toasty in there. That's the one that won 2 weeks ago. And then last week's challenge was Chev once again. This theme now was a station, and you can see this gorgeous station that he built and put into orbit about Joule. And we also have a monthly challenge, and the January challenge was complete. The January challenge was how low can you go? And the winner of that challenge was Bravo. And this is just a screenshot. The challenge was to get, while still in orbit, as low as you can dare, get to the surface of the moon. And Bravo actually put together a really sweet little video of him doing this particular challenge. And there is a link to that video down there in the description if you are interested in it. So congratulations to all three winners, and I promise from here on in, I am going to be a little bit better at hitting these things off each week as we get to them. Okay, I'm getting my screens back to where they were. There we go, and that one. Yes, all right. Okay, so with that, yeah, let's get started. Let's get right into this. I think that's going to be what we'll do. So we'll go into the vehicle assembly building, and just to let you know, I did build the lander. I always, with these things, kind of pseudo plan them. I plan them a little bit and then do the entire build live. And again, I did some pseudo planning the lander, but the lander turned out to be actually as simple as it looks. This turned out to be so much work, so much fiddling and so much tweaking. I spent hours on this guy. that I don't want to build it again. I don't want to put you through all of that tweaking, but I will go over the build and talk a little bit about the kind of logic to it. So this is the Eve lander. This is meant to, through parachutes, land down on Eve. We still got to attach some heat shields and stuff to it for that part of it. And then it's able to ascend back up to the surface. And it's sort of ironic that when I first tried this, I did this last weekend, and my first thought was I'm going to build a rocket-powered space plane that was going to take off from Eve. I don't have, by the way, any mods installed. I don't even have the DLC installed, so I don't have any turbines or any of that kind of stuff, and I don't want to do any kind of wacky Kraken drives or anything. I want to do this without doing any kind of exploits. So I first thought I'm going to build a space plane, and that quickly I realized why I haven't seen anybody really build a non-exploitive space plane that doesn't take into account turbines and that kind of stuff, just doing it with rocket motors, because the thing got way too huge, way too quick. There was no way it was going to survive getting down. So I abandoned that and said, no, I'm going to go for something simpler. I'm going to go for a rocket. And the very first thing I built, I Alt F12'd it onto the surface of Eve and launched it and got into orbit very, very quickly. And I was like, oh my god, this is a snap. I even posted a picture of it onto my Discord. I was so proud of it. And then I put it away, and then I had to start putting on things like ladders and parachutes and all that kind of stuff. And then I started running into trouble. And it took me a little while to realize that the trouble was drag. I sometimes get criticized on YouTube for my rockets having too many draggy bits on them, and I honestly don't care. Because on Kerbal, for space planes, sure, but for rockets, like, as long as the thing is aerodynamically stable, a little bit of extra drag, so what? It uses up 3 or 4% more fuel than it otherwise would. I don't care. But with Eve and its 5 atmospheric pressures on the surface of Eve, I realized pretty quickly, or actually no, it didn't happen pretty quickly, it took me a long time, to realize that drag is really a big deal. I started to have control issues because of even a simple ladder bit like this retracted ladder here was giving me control issues as I was ascending through Eve through its very, very soupy atmosphere. And so what ended up being, I ended up building something that was much bigger than this, trying to overcompensate for it with more control surfaces, and I go, this is just getting too big. And then I realized the thing to do was to simply put everything that is radially attached here onto decouplers. So all of these little ladder bits, because we're got to get down to this, are all on radial decouplers. The parachutes are all on radial decouplers. The landing gear here is on a radial decoupler, so that after, when we're ready to do our ascent, I can hit that. They're all staged here together, and they'll all go off. And then this thing is slippery as an eel. There's nothing, almost nothing on there to cause very much drag. And then it got up and got into orbit without too much issue. As far as the delta V and the stats go, let me put it on vacuum here. It has 6,906 meters per second of vacuum delta V, which is significantly less than what the delta V map says it should have, but it did it, so I don't care. so there it is. If I put this on Eve though, like if we get into the staging here is such a mess. Here's where the actual engines are. It has a pretty high thrust to weight ratio on launch. That's getting rid of there. These are the other stages on the way up. And you can see the TWRs are all pretty high relative to Kerbal, but I realized pretty quick with Eve and its higher atmosphere, you need those high thrusts, right? So to get anything normal, by the time I'm up to here, I'll be throttling down at 4.03, but these are nice mid-extent thrusts relative to Eve. And if I put this on sea level, it has a 1.33 thrust to weight ratio at sea level, which I don't know why I always seem to go for that. So there, that's really the whole thing. It's actually a pretty, I keep wanting, it doesn't want to close. Fine, I won't close that one. It's actually a pretty simple rocket, really. But I'll go over it with you anyway. So we got only one Kerbal's going to go down there on the surface. So that's the first thing. So it's only got the Mark 1 cockpit with the monopropellant removed. It is going to have to dock with our mothership, so I did put a docking port on here. I could have put a 0.625 meter docking port on the top and covered it up with but I didn't, and I didn't want little tiny docking ports floating around. So that's a little bit of extra weight that I just kind of did for aesthetic reasons. Then under that, a battery, an FL-T400 fuel can, that inline docking port, and then up here is a Terrier engine for the very, very top stage. And that gives a 2,433 meters per second just in this bit once all of this junk is off of it. Then a couple of reaction wheels for stability down the middle, an FL-T400 tank, and then an FL-T-800 tank with a Vector engine down there on the bottom. The Vector engines, I discovered very quickly, are really nice for Eve, and the main reason, well, they have a lot of thrust, but the main reason is because if you look at their ISP range, there's not much difference between at sea level. Now this is at Kerbal and it has a lower ISP even on Eve, but notice the range is pretty small, and that's what makes them actually more effective than other types of engines. But you can see I actually do have another engine there, but I'll get to that in a sec. Then on the next stage are, well, all of these tanks on the side are all identical. They're just, what's that, an FLT-200 and then an FL-T-800 tank with a couple of aerodynamic nose cones on each end. Oh no, not on that end, but on the top, aerodynamic nose cones. This one is the next to upper stage. Actually, why don't I start from the bottom? So at the bottom stage I have a Vector engine, and then on the next stage I put a Reliant engine because I was realizing I had more thrust than what I needed. I was really tweaking down those Vector engines, so I went down to a Reliant engine for less mass. I thought that was, even though the ISP is not as good, its mass is a lot less. I thought that would work out really well. So this would be the first stage that gets lost. This is the second stage that gets lost. Of course, this is all asparagus. This is saving. And then I found when I was up in the upper one, I didn't need another engine, so I just put a nose cone on the bottom. So this one's just actually a droppable tank that will get dropped. And there, that's pretty much the whole thing. I got a ladder. If I extend that ladder and extend that ladder, that a Kerbal is capable of walking all the way down and getting down on the surface and climbing up. That was tested extensively because we all know how those ladders can get. And then, of course, some parachutes at the top, some drogue chutes, and 4 drogue chutes, and 6 of these regular radial parachutes, and landing gear here at the bottom. Everything being on, again, decouplers, so that when we're ready to ascend, we can just get it out of here. So there we go. That is our lander. I've tested it a number of times. It should be able to, you know, fingers crossed, get itself into orbit. Let's make sure nobody's in it. Nobody's in it, because what we need to do now is get it ready. What we're going to do is we're going to get it ready for its descent on Eve, and then we're going to just push this up to its orbit, and then we're going to build an Eve 1 command vessel that's going to dock with it, and then the whole shebang is going to go out towards Eve. That's about it. So, yeah, I did test the ladder. I just don't want to go through. It's lining all this stupid stuff up is so tedious, and weird things happen with ladders. So I don't want to put you through that. So anyway, as far as its descent goes, if this fell through Eve, it would blow up in a heartbeat. So what we need to do is give it some thermal protection. And on the bottom here, we're just going to simply put one of these 10 meter, I got to get it on the center engine, there we go, 10 meter heat shield. That's it. That's going to protect it. And actually that protects it just fine, just that by itself. But the problem is that it is, and that, by the way, you can detach to when you're ready, when you don't want it anymore. It protects it fine, but it is a lot of drag at the bottom of the ship, and the ship's going to want to flip over. So what I needed to do was to put a lot of drag up there on the top to compensate for it, and the absolute simplest thing to do is just to get another one of these and put it on the top. That's it. That's all I did. One on the bottom, one on the top. Now I'm not particularly, so the one on the bottom is for thermal protection, the one on the top is literally for drag to keep it in its correct attitude. And I found that just descended through Eve Luckily, I didn't like the way this was on the top, so what I'm gonna do is get a TD-060 coupler, flip it upside down, and get a couple of just structural parts to get out to the 2.5 meter diameter, like so, and there. That's it. This should descend. Oh, the other thing I found and I needed to do was I needed to auto strut this thing to the heaviest parts at both ends, and that kept it all kind of stiff. And there we go. That is capable of descending through Eve's atmosphere and landing on the surface without a problem. You lose all the bits, and then it should be able to ascend. Okay, as far as descending goes, it needs to have some... I'm not going to use these engines to descend it because this heat shield's kind of in the way. So on the bottom, I'm going to put a TD-25 decoupler. I'm going to put the smaller 2.5 meter tank, and I'm going to put just simply a Poodle engine on the bottom. Now, unfortunately, the staging here is an absolute nightmare, so I'm going to have to fix all this staging up. Oh, I'm sure that other decoupler's... So that goes there. Where's you? That goes there. Yep, because we're going to deorbit. Get rid of that. Yep, and then where is that guy? He's somewhere. Is it up towards the top? Yep. Grab you and bring you down. The staging is just... I hate it. Okay, and that's actually the right spot. So, deorbit burn, get rid of this little bitty on the bottom. Deploy or arm the drogue chutes. And then after the drogue chutes deploy, we can lose this top heat shield. So that's this decoupler. And then we can deploy our main chutes once it's safe to do so. Now, I only need 40 meters per second of delta V, so I'm going to actually take out, to save weight, most of the fuel on this. So that is 76. That's 57, that's fine. Thrust to weight of 0.21, that's fine. Sure, why not make it orange? There we go. And this is the end of what I planned. This part of it I have planned and tested and everything. The rest of this I'm going to make up as I go along, because apparently people like seeing me stumble through this and make kind of a fool of myself. So I'm going to need to now get this thing into orbit. I'm thinking, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I do have everything. Let's start by just putting a booster underneath and see what happens. I might need to enclose this in some sort of a fairing, but right now, why don't we just get started with a booster on the bottom, get this thing into orbit. So we need the TD-25 decoupler, and I'm probably going to expand out. In fact, why don't I get on the filter by size, go to the 3.75 meter size. There we go. Get out to a wider diameter. My biggest tank in this domain is this guy. And again, I'm gonna have to check the staging at like every point. At every point, this is gonna need to be checked. So that's there. That's fine. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's more of a lifter engine. This is a vacuum engine. I just want a stage here that has maybe, of course, again, it's in the wrong spot, about 1,000 meters per second. Oh, that's a lot right there. Okay, so I can get a smaller tank. So let's go a size down. I'm just looking at making something, maybe even a little smaller still. Wow. I think this will be too small though. Just to handle the upper part of the ascent. Actually, that's pretty good right there. Okay, so that's to handle the upper part of the ascent. It's got 1,081 meters per second of delta. I can get this back on Kerbal. There we go. Oh! Which means this engine's actually now too big. Okay, okay. I was looking at the eave thrust to weight ratios. Thinking maybe going smaller than on the very, very top. Let's try that. Maybe I don't need to be as big as this. Let's go down to the 2.5 meter size. Go like with that, and maybe a skipper's too ambitious, isn't it? Always want to minimize the amount you're lifting. Of course, it put itself into a wacky spot. There we go. So that's not enough delta V and not enough thrust. Okay, I might have to be going with this as it is. Let's go back to engines. Let's do engines this way. Arrange these suckers by mass. So that was that. Oh, Vector has more. Okay, how about a mainsail? Okay, I can get a bigger tank now. No, these range sheets by name now. There we are. The Jumbo 64. That's a little too... That might be okay. The Vector engine a good choice under there? Is that going to work for me? Of course, you're in a dumb spot. Kind of like that. It's 1,028 meters per second, but a lot less mass. Yeah. I'm just thinking here for the upper stage. And you know what? This should have probably... Well, no, there's a lot of reaction wheels up here. I think it we'll find... We'll see how it goes. If it's not okay, it's not okay. I'm going to turn the gimbaling on this way down because I know I won't need it. No, I'm happy with that. Okay, and I'm thinking... Probably just some big old radial liquid fuel boosters and some asparagus staging, so might just get the job done. So a couple of these, a couple of, let's go big now. I got a feeling I'm gonna need to. A couple of these, and a couple of the mammoths, are my biggest engine I got. Of course, staging needs to be fixed. Down to the bottom you go. What are these? They're up here. Probably throw... Well, what kind of thrust to weight do we have down there on the bottom? And these two I want to add up to about 36. Right now they're adding up to about 3,000. What about some asparagus? Asparagus staging here. Oops. Lost the fuel line. Maybe throw all this into the same. Again, don't look at the total because it's counting the top. This is really not adding much into the mix. I think I might just leave it for the very end. Which means the asparagus staging really isn't doing anything. So let's throw that away. Let's just add until we get... Yeah, I can put a lot more on here. That's easily in the ballpark right now, and I have tons of thrust on the bottom, so I might even just scale this down just a little bit. I think I'm closing in on something that's going to work. Like one of these, one of those, one of these, and then just a little stumpy nose cone on the top. Or I could just put, actually what might work better, just that. Oh, that's already huge. Oh my gosh, I forgot. So not used to the bigger parts. I so rarely use them. So between these two, a little short. Okay, let's put that fuel can back on that I took off. The slanty one, that one. And then Stumpy comes back. That one. And we'll strut this. So this is still a smidge short, but maybe if I just slid in another can here, a big one. Is that the one I'm thinking about? That's the one I'm thinking about. Again, adding up these two, that should be enough. Plenty of thrust on the bottom. I should be able to get this to work. I'm not that interested in... not that interested in making it super pretty. I'm just interested in getting the job done, as it were. So we're going to slide this down a little bit. I'm hoping I can just... I mean, I could just put a fairing around this whole thing, too. I do have some pretty big fairings, but I'm hoping to actually get away with not having to do that. That would be pretty good. Okay, why am I getting into colors when I'm not even done the... Because I am, aren't I? Why? Oh! Oh, I put... There's two there. Ah, shoot. One stripes to match up. That looks better. Okay. And then all white on the top. No, I can't do anything with that. That one has a white variant. There we go. Okay. I don't think there's any variants down here on these. No, I can make those orange, but that's good. Yeah, so I'm thinking that's going to be okay. Okay, struts. Where am I going to strut you? Maybe strut right to the payload up here to help stiffen all this. Put some on the bottom and maybe some on the bottom here too. And we're going to need some separatrons to help this get apart. She ain't pretty, but that's okay. We'll start it with just two of them. We'll see how this goes. These are some massive radial boosters. Okay, and oh, we're gonna need some form of aerodynamic stability on the bottom here. Like I don't even have. Let's just get some of these guys. That's 6. I don't need 6, 4 of them. That'll do. Still got lots and lots of Delta V. Put it on vacuum. Oh my gosh, I had it on. This is way overkill. Oh, for goodness sakes. I think I had it on sea level when I was adding these two up. I had got way too much here. Way too much. We're gonna scale this sucker down. Way too much. Oh my gosh. Scaling it down. Let's see. 'Cause I had it, yeah, there. 2030. This is pretty close. Maybe just a little more. Let's put that small one back. More doesn't hurt. Oh, that's too small. Where's that one? There we go. Plenty. My center of lift is stupid high, but oh, now I gotta restrut the top. Restrut the top. I don't seem to be affecting that center of mass or center of lift too much. It does. I'm gonna go for it. We'll see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? Okay. I'm gonna put this here. And this one here. Engines down there. Okay. And finally, we're gonna tweak down that thrust to weight on the bottom here. These guys are too high. All right. I think I'm ready to give this a go. I'm a little worried about this top just being way too much drag. It might be why this lift is so far. You know what? Why don't? Yeah, let's perhaps not be so dumb. Let's get... Oh, wait. I should have left the decoupler on there. You know, I could do it the other way. Up on the top, a TD-12 decoupler. Let's get rid of that shroud. And then on that goes the 2.5 meter fairing, and then I'm gonna go just this one. I'm thinking this is just asking for trouble. Leaving this, it's gonna flip out. And it should look better too. Got to get around the landing legs. I'm hoping it'll reach all the way here. Sneaking around the engines here a little bit. A little bit down here on the very, very bottom. Can you give me a closed fairing? Can you give me a closed fairing? Oh, there it is. There it is. Closed fairing. Nice. Okay. Really jack up that force. Go to 6 piece. Now 6 pieces. Lots of pieces. Clamshell deploy. Put a nose cone on the top. Oh, that's the big one again. Always grab the wrong one. That one. And to help blast that nose cone away, and I know the staging is completely borked, we'll put in a Separatron. I'm going to tweak them in. I'm actually going to keep the thrust up, but remove pretty much all the, thrust up, remove almost all the fuel. And then I'm going to select one of these and just remove it from symmetry, and then grab it again and slide it further in. And the idea of that, maybe take this one and slide it further out so that the thrust is asymmetric, so the nose cone will go off to the side, so we shouldn't have to worry about running into it. Now the staging here, I'm sure, is an effing disaster call. Don't have any idea. Oh, there's the okay, let's take this out of the staging entirely. Oh, I'm still on this, that's why. Take it out of the staging. Where's that decoupler gone? Probably way up at the top here somewhere. There it is. Okay, and where are those dudes? No, that's not them. Nope. There are a pair of Separatron. Okay. is put them all into the same staging group. But what I'm going to do is go into action groups, and on action group 5, we're going to deploy that, decouple that, and fire these guys off. Well, thank you there, C-Lab, who just joined us as a novice rocketeer, becoming a YouTube member. That is much appreciated. And notice what that did to my center of lift. It's now way down here. Way down here. In fact, what I might just do now... Let's keep those on, but I probably don't even need them. I think that was a good choice. And it looks a little better. All right. Okay, let's give this a launch. So save it. Where are those? Oh my gosh, of course those are in the stupid spot. Oh no, they're not. I'm just not down far enough. Oh, the staging. So I want to make sure this staging makes some degree of sense. These guys need to go here and here. That is making some sense. Okay. Oh, and I probably, this delta, yeah, I should jack this up just a smidge more. Because of the weight of the, there. Because of the weight of the fairing. All right, let's give this a launch. Nobody's in it, please. Nobody's in it. Good, good, good. All right, launch it. Okay. Oh, wait. Gonna pull it back. There is no probe body on this. That was the message that I just clicked away, that there's no probe control. So I can't fly this. This has no control. Revert flight. Silly McBilly. Okay, we got to sneak a probe body in here somewhere. Where am I going to put you? Let's just go here. I'm thinking what probably adds the least amount of mass is probably put on the interstage nodes. Yeah. Delete the fairing, build the fairing, just build that up. Come on. I saw the close. Give it to me. There. I think that adds... I think that says that, or put in one of those 2.5 meter McJobs. But then that gives me lots of room to put in... You know what? We'll put in a few things now. We'll put in a... Oh, I forgot! Oh, forget this. Forget this. I got... shoot. This is when you are so used to being so far down the tech tree, you forget you have stuff. I have the bigger 2.5 meter. Does this have reaction wheels in it and everything? Use this up. Yep, it has reaction wheels. You know, yeah, we'll just go with that. Okay, that's much simpler. TWR at the bottom is still good. Yeah, okay, let's do it. I'm so used to not being all the way down that tech tree. I got all these parts I hardly ever use. I've never mentioned to leave sorry. Was Speaky Whaley? Never has gotten off the surface of Eve. Neither have I, legitimately. This whole series has been me doing stuff that I normally never ever do. Anybody who watches any of my videos knows that I spend 99% of my time farting around between Kerbal and the moon and Mimas, and don't go interplanetary that often. And yeah, this is something I've never done either. So yeah, we are in this together. Okay, I don't see any reason why I can't just push the button. So Off we go. It isn't a wobbly noodly mess yet, so that's always a good sign. So this, I always say this is a test, unless it works, in which case we're going to go with it. Okay, locking that onto prograde, and I'm hoping just to be able to kind of ride this up. It's a little bit, needs to come a little bit northwards. It's not the most easily controllable. Seems okay so far. Like this to be as equatorial as I can get it. So far so good. I think it's falling over just a little bit quickly, so I'm just going to very quickly and then go back and then just take it off the lock to prograde for a little bit. Lock back. I don't want to get too far from that prograde vector. So just kind of lock its attitude, and then I'll lock it to prograde. Now I think it should be able to just stay on lock to prograde. Okay, starting to reduce throttle because I'm getting close to 50 seconds from the prograde. Reduce throttle and hopefully just kind of ride this up. No Kerbals in it. Nope, we're going to still launch the Eve 1, the command vessel for this thing. So, you know, and that's the one we'll put all of our Kerbals in. And it will dock with this thing. That's the plan. So it's not a one-off shot to Eve. I thought of doing that, and then I thought, nah. I like putting things together in orbit. Okay. Maybe need a little bit more thrust here. Then we're gonna, so we got about 500 meters per second left in these tanks, and then we're gonna go on to that central core and just that vector engine. Hopefully this will all be okay. Certainly less goofy than my Joule vessel, if you recall that one. Okay, just about ready to lose those boosters. There they go. And oh, now I should go full. There's a lot less thrust here. I should go definitely throttle that up. Oh, we can lose our fairing probably at this point. So there we go. Nice. There she is. There's our lander. Reduce throttle now a little bit. Okay, nose cone went off to the side. All right. Okay, that seems to have gone all right, I think. Think I should have. I'm pretty sure I got the Delta V to get into orbit. We're doing a good job of raising our periapsis as well as our apoapsis, so I'm feeling okay. Oh shoot! And I just realized I botched something. I forgot to do something. I have no way for the command vessel to dock with this. There's no docking port on. Okay. Oh, everything was going so well. Like I said, that was just a test. There's no way for the command vessel. Okay, this from here, there is what's going to Eve. And there's no way for a command vessel to dock with this. I was not using my head. So what I'm gonna do, let me think. Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, keep that decoupler on. Like that. And I'm gonna just simply get a Clampetron Senior, flip it upside down, and then another Clampetron Senior to attach this on. And I'm hoping that'll do it. I'm noticing these struts are being a little funny now, so I'm just going to move them a bit. Shoot! That was a silly thing to overlook. And these struts are now hooked to the fairing, which I don't like, so I'm going to come back and go this way. Hopefully this will all be alright. Oh, was I on one-way symmetry down here too? I was. Stupid. Okay. Alright. We shall try again. I'm hoping that connection, do you think that connection will be okay? No, this will work, and then when we build the Eve 1, it's going to dock on this docking port. This will be out of the way. I think this will work. Sure. I'm just thinking, is that connection strong enough? But I don't feel like auto strutting. No, we're just going to go with this. So save it. Let's see what our launch TWR is like. Still 1.33. Is the staging still sensible? I believe that it is. Yes, so we're going to go with this. Again, make sure no Kerbals inside. Nope, and launch. Shoot, that was disappointing. Ah, John's saying he took one of those make the Kerbals pass out. Kerbals are shockingly resistant. You really have to pump up the G's to get a Kerbal to gray out on you. Okay, so there. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, yeah, I'm being asked, how do I move the nav ball to the side? It's just in the settings. You go into your settings, there's a nav ball position slider, and you can just slide it all the way to the left or all the way to the right. I like it all the way to the side rather than in the middle here. Very easy adjustment. Again, I think I knocked it over a little bit too aggressively, so I'm just going to come back this way a bit. All right. Let it settle onto the prograde vector and try this again. You can do planes all day, but you have trouble. That's funny. I think most people are the other way around. Planes are really frustrating. Getting to orbit is what they find easier. Okay, I'm a little steeper this time, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Quite a bit steeper, in fact. Okay, reducing the throttle. And watching that time to apoapsis. It's at 49 seconds. Kind of want to just keep it right around where it is. Okay. And yeah, and for those people that don't know, the reducing the throttle at the top part, especially when you get to the upper part of the insertion, if you're close to your apoapsis, you end up putting a lot of energy into your raising your periapsis, and then the final orbital insertion is like peanuts. It's like nothing, and it makes your ascent quite a bit more efficient. So if you're having trouble doing efficient ascents, this is the thing to do. Just reduce throttle and just kind of keep this time to apoapsis around 45, 50, 55 seconds, somewhere in there. Keep it around constant. And yeah. It also makes the first part of the ascent more forgiving. Like, I find that this upper part now is correcting for the fact that at the lower part I was a little bit too steep. Okay, where are we at? About 500 meters per second left in those boosters. what should I be doing? I think I might be getting rid of that. Well, we'll see. It's going to be very close between, am I going to stage these guys first or get rid of the fairing first? I like doing the fairing at around 50 kilometers. Let's do that. 5. There we go. Get rid of that. And come on. There we go. Oh, the old double stage trick. Stage twice there for some reason. Now we're on just the little vector engine there. Need more thrust. More thrust. Now you look, if you look here, you can see my apoapsis is going up very slowly, but that's okay because I'm close to where I want to be, but my periapsis is going up very quickly. This thing also doesn't have any kind of solar generation on it, but I'm sure it'll be fun. I put a lot of battery power on it. Like, how much battery power does it have? Over 1,000, so it'll be fine. Again, it was all about keeping this. I didn't want solar panels causing drag or anything like that. All right. We're going to have fuel left over to steal from this booster too, which is always a nice thing to do. Okay, I can go for a 90-kilometer orbit. All right, 91. 91.2 is fine. I'm pretty much right in space anyway, so let's just time warp till we are there. My periapsis is at 54 kilometers, so like in fact, what I'm going to do is turn this thrust limiter way down because it's going to take hardly anything here. Okay. It's time warping up to the apoapsis. Will orbits be the same in KSP2? I think the physics... okay, I was going to say the physics should be the same. I'm hoping the good parts of the physics are going to be the same. I'm hoping that they have they've done a lot differently when it comes to the collision detection and just modeling the ship. So that, you know, a whole pile of parts, you know, the one thing with KSP is you put on a lot of parts and suddenly your CPU is starting to have trouble. And hopefully it will run more efficiently. But as far as the whole patch conics model, the Newtonian mechanics of it, I can't imagine that is going to be changed. I have to think, like, that is changing fundamentally how the game works, and I really find it hard to believe they would do that. Though, who the heck knows? Okay, I needed to thrust a little bit earlier than I did and put this up higher. I put this too low. All right, that's good enough. 91 by 91. I don't know. I'm just going to put it on the normal vector. Oh, thank you, NC Davis, for the donation. It's much appreciated. Would it be easier to do KSP2? Would KSP2 be easier to do belly flop starships and also build space shuttles? I hope so. I do. The problem I think that the first game has here, why don't we, I think this is all good. I'm going to turn the SAS off, even though the electricity isn't modeled. There we go. This thing's in orbit, so I'm happy with that. Let's Revert oh, no, don't revert flight, for goodness sakes. Back to the Space Center. But will it be easier to build? I think space stations and space shuttle and all, I'm hoping it'll be easier. I think suffers from some legacy issues in that I think the game is way, way bigger than what the devs originally had envisioned. And I think that's where you start running into trouble with KSP, is things getting exponentially more difficult. And so let's see here. I'm going to remove this. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to remove my nose coney thing on the top. Because what we got to do now is build the Eve 1. I'm going to make, here, this will make sense in a second. I'm just going to put this into storage, as it were, into the sub-assemblies, just like this. Because this is what we're going to be docking to, but I'm just going to put this here. This is our lander. And we're going to start all new. And let's build, and again, I don't have much, I have minor thoughts. I want to put 4 Kerbals into here. So I'm going to start with the cupola module here. Does that have, that has reaction wheels already built. Oh, for goodness sakes. There we go. This already has reaction wheels. It certainly does. And then I'm going to put, I want to take 4 Kerbals. Lately, with a whole pile of my most recent ones of these streams, I've done 4 Kerbals at a time. So I'm figuring, there we go. That's 5 Kerbals. And we'll put 4 in there. And how much mass is this up to? This is 3 tons. That's 2.5 tons when you, with the Mark 1. I'm thinking, I'm honestly, I was thinking, we'll see how it goes. I might change my mind on this, and if people want to convince me, but I'm thinking of just simply doing this, a couple of these, and you know, that, 2 of them. That, I'm not going to test it. I've never done this before, but I'm hoping that I can descend this through the atmosphere. Like, not of Eve when I come back to Kerbin. And it's just simply flat out just land this on Kerbin and call it a day. I do have a space plane that I built for in a previous stream in this series that I could technically go up and get them and bring them down, but I kind of want to do this. Okay, let's meet our crew. Let's pile our crew in. Valentina, I'm sorry you're not going. Every one of these missions has been done with fresh crew, and this is going to be no exception. So I got fresh crew, 4 hot off the press Kerbals here with absolutely 0 experience, named after Patreons. So I have Patreons and YouTube members. So I have Chris B. Kerman, going to be I think he's going to be our commander, and then co-pilot Ferd Kerman, and then we're going to have engineer Jason L. Kerman, and we're going to have Jerry G. Kerman for our scientist. Actually, I think we need to put somebody in the cupola module, or else it's simply not going to work. What I want to do is, first off, here's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm going to put a fairing base under here. I got an idea. Because remember, this does have to dock with I'm going to put a 2.5 meter fairing. I'm not going to build the fairing. Good, didn't do it. I'm going to put on the interstage nodes. And then we're going to get a Clampetron Senior, and that's just going to sit on there. That's how we're going to dock with it. And then we're just going to push it. Just straight up, just push it. Just like that. We'll see. So, there's that. Here, let's take this out of the staging. So I don't have to see it. There we go. Yeah, so what I want to do is, this is the vessel that's just going to come back. So what I want to do is build, let's get a decoupler under here. Build a vessel that should... I figure my return from Kerbal, or return from Eve, from low Eve orbit back to Kerbal, I'm budgeting about 1,500 meters per second for that. So I'm hoping to just build that bit of it, and then we'll attach on the lander, because of course this thing's not going to return with the lander. Yeah, I'm hoping that I can keep this reasonably simple. So I'm just going to put some length on this and just stick a nuclear engine on the bottom and see what that gets me. Boom, boom, boom. That actually should go together now. And put this on vacuum. And that, oh my gosh, that's 4,000 already? Wow. Wow, okay. Okay, that's exciting. We can scale this way down. We'll have to put some antennas and junk on this too. Oh my golly. Okay, forget. Okay. All right. No, okay. I'm not going to build something that's. This is what's going to be back, but we're going to be using up some of this fuel. But that's a TWR of 0.36. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. That's for this as a return vessel. All right, it's gonna need. Let's throw in some more reaction wheels. Just throw some stuff in here. What kind of stuff we need? We need that. Let's chuck in some batteries. I'm gonna do here. We're gonna need some solar panels. There we go. I'll just put 6 batteries under here like that. That'll be fine. Actually, let's wait on the solar panels. Actually, this thing is also going to need a docking port on the side. Yeah, I know what I'll do. Put a docking port. Because by the time we're down to this, we should actually... Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. I want the inline there. And that's for the lander to dock with when we're all said and done. Now, one thing that's going to be potentially problematic... No, let me... What's this thing like when the lander's on it? So we're going to grab our lander. Boom. And in fact, I'm going to turn off all of these engines here because I just flat out don't want to see them. This is just here for the mass, as it were. Oh yeah, there's only 4 engines up there. Okay, so none of that mass counts. Where is... Oh my god, the staging. The staging, the staging. Where is... That has to come all the way down to the bottom. Okay. What I'm interested in, what's the TWR is only 0.7 when it's down to this. Let's take off tank. Because for some of this thing is going to be pushing this thing. Oh, that doesn't make a difference. Okay. Well, let's see what we get. So, I guess what I shall do then is just put on one of these. We'll just start pairing off more. So I got a feeling I'm going to need a lot of nuclear engines. Oh my gosh. All that work to get two-way symmetry. I'm going to need a lot of nuclear engines to get a reasonable TWR out of this. That's what I'm a little bit concerned of. It's because we got such a big rocket. gosh. Oh, not all the engines are on at the same. 0.15. Okay, that's not terrible. That isn't terrible. That's something that can be worked with. A 1.15 thrust to weight ratio. We'll have to do some figuring in a little bit. And then let's see where we get. So if I auto or do asparagus stage these guys, find out where those decouplers went in the staging. There we go. 2,158 meters per second. I'd like this to get into around, well, $3,000. It's hard to do it because the lander's on there right now. We'll figure this out. So that's okay. And then we'll lose these. And whoops, that's not very. And all engines on the same. Yep, they're all on the same one. That's a 0.21 thrust to weight ratio. I can live with that. And let's fix up this asparagus staging. So that would go to that one, but these ones would go to this one. Right? Yep. And same over here. Yeah. So, and then again, of course, the decoupler's in the wrong spot. Yeah. These guys gotta go here. These ones, and then these ones. Okay. So that gets me 3,295. Yeah. Okay, gonna do an experiment. And I think the TWR is good, right? TWR 0.21, that's fine. So we're gonna do a little experiment here. So I figure getting from Kerbal to low orbit about Eve is about 2450 meters per second. That's what I kind of budgeted for that. So what I'm going to imagine is taking that quantity of fuel out. So imagine we take 3,295 and subtract, sorry for doing live math here, get it down to 845 meters per second. So we would, for instance, stage this guy, including the decouplers. And now we're down to 2,000, and then we would stage this. So now we're down to 722. Oh, it would have ended up before that. Let's put those back. I'm noticing there's a can right here. Throw you away. Let's just start emptying fuel cans until I get down to about 845. So this is sort of simulating the actual trip to Eve and how much fuel I would end up using on my way to Eve. And I would be down to pretty close to about there. And then I would end up losing this lander, and now it's how much fuel do I have to get back home? I have mountains. I have mountains of fuel. This should do it. This should do it easy. This should do it easy. This should do it easy. I'm hoping I'm not messing this up somehow. We'll check this out again. That. 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 That's not quite in the right spot. But I'm thinking this can actually easily get the job done. It is a lot of... okay, and of course all these are messed up again. There's another engine somewhere. Where are you? Engine's being lost. Way up here is this engine. Okay, so we would do that, then we would stage those, and then we would stage those, and I'm thinking I'll have to test this again just to be 100% sure that I'm not messing this up somehow. Why is my delta V much lower than it was just a moment ago? Are the hoses making sense? Am I staging making sense? I would stage these guys first, then these. Oh, this was a higher number just a moment ago. Are the fuel lines flowing the right way? Good question. This one's going from here to here, that's right, and this one's going from here to here, that's right. You can also check by looking at the fuel flow numbers. I should really... But for some reason, so these are zeros down here, 140 and 130. I don't know why they're as big as that, but at least that's sensible. At least they're bigger. I just don't like how... I swear my delta V was just higher. Okay, let's just stick with this for just a little bit longer. What I think I shall do... Let's get this just a little lower by putting on one more of these. And then we can lower all of these fellas. Like so. So all the engines kind of line up. Like so. And we'll put on some funky nose cones at the top here. I might need to lower this whole shebang. Like so. Okay, we definitely need solar panels too. I'm thinking let's keep everything as simple as possible. So we're gonna put on, doesn't need really much anything. These will do. Just stick them on the side here like that. Just like that. What else? I'm so used to playing on my modded game in Kerbalism and having to think about 1,000 things and I'm thinking this is as simple as it's going to get. I don't really see... I got the reaction wheels. Okay. What's the difference between using normal fuel tanks and removing all the oxidizer? Nothing, except I do believe, though I've never actually gone through the math, but I would assume that the tank, these tanks dry are lighter, but I could be wrong. Well, you're going to have to put on, it's like you got empty tanks, you got empty wasted volume is the way I would think about it. I think you have to, for the same volume, you're going to get more liquid fuel, I would think, out of one of these than the equipment. Now we can test this right now. Now you got me thinking. Here's the exact same size tank in terms of length and diameter. This tank has 400... Oh, for goodness sakes, I'm an idiot. Now I notice why I'm an idiot. Why this is low. Because I took fuel out of here. Ah, is that why Veos is doing the palm slap thing? Anyway, getting back to what I was just saying. This is 180 units of liquid fuel. So if I took out that, I'd only have 180 units of liquid fuel. This is 400 units of liquid fuel if there was actually liquid fuel there. So you get a lot more liquid fuel for volume. What 100% dope I am. Why is my delta V so low? Well, maybe because you just took out all that fuel. Was that in the chat and I was just missing it? Probably. Okay, all these are full now. I'm thinking this is gonna do it. I think this is gonna do it like easily. I think this is gonna do it. So what we're gonna do is lights, gotta have lights. That's what we'll do. So this can come off because it's already sitting up in orbit. These can be retracted, and let's see here. I'm gonna just put in one more set of reaction wheels, mostly because I wanted to get this a little further down. We'll put on some Separatrons to separate out these guys when they go to stage. Put these more or less around the middle. How many tanks are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks. But the engine's heavier, so I don't know. Around here-ish? Sure. Why not? And then same thing on the other side. Okay, check the staging, because undoubtedly those are in a stupid spot. They need to be here and here. And there, and I'm going to take out half of the fuel. Should have done that before I started copying them, and then I would have only had to do this once, but there, 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 and there. Okay, so engines, get them all in the same stage. Check your staging. Yep, that one's first, so where are those? Put these in the wrong spot. Okay, I think that's right. So that decouples, and those Separatrons go, and then this one decouples, and these Separatrons go. And do I have them in the right order? I do. Okay. How heavy is this? 78. I should be. This shouldn't be a biggie. This really shouldn't be big. Okay. What else? What else? Lights. We need lights. Lights. I didn't put any lights on the lander because I was so concerned with drag. I don't know if lights have drag on them or not, but I was concerned about it, so I didn't put it on there. But I'm gonna make up for it with this. Now, what if these strip lights? Do they look okay if I turn them on? Like if I just do this? Sure. Like that, and then we'll copy those. So one there. One there. And we'll put on, absolutely no reason, some random red lights on the bottom here. And I notice they're in the texture, so I'm just going to pull them out a little bit. All right, and more red lights. So dumb, this thing with me and red lights. I saw a ship on the Expanse and it had all these red lights just tailing at the back, and I thought that looks so cool. I'm gonna put red lights at the back of all of my ships from now on. Of course, you know, it doesn't look anywhere near what the Expanse looks like, but you gotta start somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna put another strip up here. Okay, and put some lights up here, but I'm just going to move these things just a little bit. Where's the top? This is the top, so this would be starboard side on this side. Starboard side, of course, having to be green. It's the way these things have to work. Green and flashy. And then this side, we'll remove it from, whoops. Remove it from symmetry. And it's going to be red. Oh, let's just call it. Let's do it. Or okay, this is the Eve 1. Enough fiddling with lights. So now what we need to do is get this puppy into orbit. Now, honestly, I already have a fairing here. Can I get this out enough? Sure. Just do that. That makes life easier. Hopefully that will deploy cleanly. Put that into our action groups just as deploy on action group 5. And yeah, you should be able to transfer fuel without issues through those decouplers. I know there doesn't look like, but basically when you're connected, you can transfer fuel unless you've turned something off that you can't. Let's put these guys. Oh, I know what I need. I need antennas. I need an antenna. I knew I was forgetting something. These guys are on action group 0. Toggle solar panels. Antenna. Now I made a couple notes, did some figuring. I could put on 2 RA-2s or 1 RA-15. Probably just a single RA-15 will probably work the best. So that is this guy. This is a relay. How big is it? It's not bad. I could stick it on the back here. Now that, of course, is going to be nicely, uglily in the airstream. Or I could go with 2 of these. That's this one, the RA2. They're smaller. 2 of those or 1 of those will serve us nicely. Actually, maybe this is better, because I might be able to just put 2. Yeah, or a little higher maybe, just up here. There, that looks fine. Maybe I can get away with not having to put anything around that too. Just noticing I only have, this light here was only on 2-way symmetry instead of 4. Can't have that. Alright. Do you have enough parachutes on the hitchhiker? It has a low impact tolerance. You know what? That's a good point. I just went with its mass and noticed its mass was less than twice the mass of... But you know what? You got a good point. Why not? Does not hurt to go with more. So let's do more. Just like that. So 4 of these should be fine. I might still change my mind. I might still just put them into orbit about Kerbal and then just come pick them up in a space plane. That's a for later decision. So am I missing anything? Am I missing? What is a blader? A blader is a material that burns off or ablates, peels off of a heat shield to take the heat away from the rocket, which is what you would want to do. I'm going to very temporarily, this is just on a testing sort of basis. Well, let's go through all our staging here. This staging is a disaster. Boom, 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 boom. Oh no, that's all sensible. I'm going to... Oh, this needs to RCS. For goodness sakes, RCS. Oh, I have Kerbal Engineer installed. When did I do that? I don't even know. All of a sudden I noticed this stuff down here. Monopropellant. I have 10 units of monopropellant. Let's put on a little bit more monopropellant. I didn't even know I had Kerbal Engineer installed. I must have done it for a reason at some point. Probably had something to do with Joule and getting good landing spots or something. Maybe it had to do with Tylo, landing on Tylo. I don't know. So I'm going to do that. But this thing is going to need RCS blocks. We're going to use the big fellas. The RA105 RCS blocks. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to want to center them around the center of mass. Of course, that center of mass is going to move massively as we drain fuel, but you know what? We'll deal. Now, one thing, probably by the time this is docking with the lander coming up from Eve, these boosters will be gone, so I don't want to put any blocks on those, but maybe if I put them here-ish and here-ish. So I got, that was on two-way symmetry, so there's 4. And maybe 2 of them tucked in like there-ish. A little higher so they match up with the other ones. I know they're glitching into the tank, but that should be okay. And then just 6 up towards the top here. Maybe just the exact same pattern. 1 here. The center of mass will move up as it drains fuel, so the center of mass will be higher. We'll deal. We'll just adjust thrust as we go. That's what we will do. I'm sure it'll be fine. Famous last words. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just RCS. We can adjust. There. Alright, center of mass comes off. So what we're going to do is we're just going to save this. We're going to launch it. Clearly still needs a lifter. And get this into orbit. I'm going to make that the goal. Get this into orbit, dock it with the lander that's already there, and then we can plan our trip to Eve for the next stream. I think that's sounding like a plan. So, I'm going to Alt F12. This is just to see. Again, this is just for testing purposes. Oh, I only have 1 Kerbal. Okay, I have to make sure I find out why that happened. 5 should get rid of the fairing. That. Clean. Lights. Put on a 0. Okay, fire up the engines. Now, RCS. One good way to test RCS is just simply don't put on the SAS and just see what happens. Well, you know what? I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Why am I worried? Don't worry about it. Okay, and then all I want to do, put that on there. Oh, I want to toggle off all of that so that it doesn't use RCS. And just make sure that these engines, that the staging works. The engines don't, oh, it's wobbly. We'll do some auto strutting. Let's see if we can do that now. Auto strut. Maybe just auto strut right down this central tank. Or right central core here. I think I will do that. Okay. So that's prograde. Just punch it. So I'm just making sure the engines aren't going to blow up into each other. Okay, and that all seems ducky. Not the hugest of thrust await's fine. It'll work. Okay, and then if I stage it, so cut engines, stage, and then stage. Yeah, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. Okay, revert that back. Vehicle assembly. Just the auto strutting. The floppy rocket special. You always get. That's something I'm hoping. I'm going to auto strut right down the center stack. Is what this is. So I'm going to auto strut to the grandparent part. I don't know why I don't know what happened to my Kerbals too. All of these guys. So the nice thing too is if you notice while you're flying, you can always adjust the auto strutting in flight too. But something in KSP2 I certainly hope is that the rockets are just not noodly from the get-go. Okay, that should take care of that. Okay, where'd my Kerbals go? Why'd you guys bail? Get back in there. Whoops. Gotta... Okay. Some people are sneaking in that shouldn't be. There we go. There's our crew. Okay, save. Alright. I'm hoping just to basically launch this. I'm just really hoping I can put a booster under it and just go. That's the plan. That's the plan. Nothing, let's get a great big old tank. Big old tank like that. Just gonna push it. Just gonna push it. Now what happens? Again, just go with the same sort of idea. Vacuum. See, that's a lot. That's a lot and a fair amount of thrust. I like the bigger tank here because it just seems to cover that. I might, maybe, I don't know, the fairing won't close around that though, so it's not really, if I'm gonna do a fairing, I'm gonna end up doing the whole thing, and I'd rather, kind of rather avoid that. That can go in there. That's good, that's good. That's just too much thrust. Can I get a smaller engine? Might be getting back to the old... what happens if I put... Oh, that's that one. Mainsail engine. Do some adjusting. That's not bad. Might be using the vector engine again. No, I'm going to go back to the mainsail. Yep. We'll clean up. So this is just the upper stage. Oh, do we not have... I always forget. Oh, I might not have... Might just have to leave it that way. A big... No, this size. Yeah, the only adapter from the big size to the 2.5, the 3.75 to 2 is that one, and I don't want to put on the more... Well, maybe. Let's just see where this goes. What if I do this, flip her around. That looks a little nicer. You can always just take the fuel out of this to make it a... That looks a lot nicer. Good to... Yeah, I like it. Okay, so that's my upper stage engine. Beautiful. There's definitely going to require some strutting here. Do that right now while I'm thinking about it. Okay, there we go. And now what we're going to do is get a 2.5 meter that guy. That goes on there. Take the shroud away. And then a big old fairing. This is going to be like an engine. Really more a cowling than anything. Those engine plates are nice for this, but unfortunately I ain't got them because I don't have the DLC. Not on this save anyway. Like that. Like clamshell deploy. Fairing staged. Yep. And again, I'll put that on an action group. And then under that, just get a great big tank. Didn't see the dock. No, there's 2 docking ports on there. Michael, I'll point them out once I'm past this part, but they are definitely there. I keep going on the wrong ones here. This tank. This might be too big for my own good, but I mean, I could just go. This is getting pretty tall. We'll see. We'll see. This might be dumb. It might be much, much more smart to put on. Again, 2 radial boosters might be a smarter thing than this, but can't always be smart. Okay, what am I looking for? I'm looking for combine between these. I'm gonna go with 2. Yeah, this is silly. So that means this is unnecessary. It's a very similar idea to what I did with the lander. A couple of these. That's not right. Here. Throw that away. There. You know what? I can throw all these together and do, again, some asparagus staging. I didn't bother with the asparagus staging before because the vector engine that I had there was so weak compared to these mammoth engines that it really didn't add anything. Okay, so with this mix now, I'm at about 20. It needs to be bigger, but I probably have a whole lot of thrust. I do. Can I go with these? That's getting close. And then with this, that's very close. Lots of thrust. So if I just finish this off with same way as before with those, this lovely fella, and little baby nose cone. That should do it. That should do it. We gotta strut this up. I might be regretting not, we'll see, not enclosing this, but I'm hoping to just kind of push it up. Lots of thrust, right, on the bottom. Oh yeah, I'll be turning those down. Okay. Okay, struts, 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 struts. So we'll be strutting across the bottom here, across the bottom here, and probably, you know what, let's do it in multiple play. We'll do it here. So certainly doesn't hurt. And then we'll also, whoops, I just took those off. Didn't copy them. We'll also get some on the payload here. So docking ports, there is an inline docking port hiding right here. This is for the lander to dock to when it comes up from Eve. By the time we are in orbit about Eve, this booster will be used up. It's the first to go, so we should be able to get in there. And then there's a big docking port on the top. That is what we're going to hook up to the lander to push it towards Eve. Okay, Separatrons again. About right. Of course, they are completely in the wrong spots. They need to go here and here. Well, you're very welcome, Jay Plays. I'm glad they help. I'm really looking forward to a new batch of tutorials when it comes to KSP 2. That is something that I am very much excited for. Now, I probably should again put some fins. Sure. Yeah, it's not even registering. Oh, it's up here. Four of them. Four of them. Okay. There's only one set of reaction wheels here. I might want to hide some reaction wheels somewhere else. And I know this might be a goofy spot for them, but the game doesn't care where you put them. I'm just going to put those right there. That should be good. Okay, that's there, that's there, that's there. Okay, we're just going to tweak down. That makes sense. This TWR is good. We're just going to tweak this down for our launch thrust to weight ratio, and then that should be that. All right. And we do have Kerbals in it. They are all aboard. Now this is a maybe I should no. I was about to say maybe I should set up an abort, but we'll just revert. You're gonna have to give me permission to quick save and reverts on this one. Because I've never done this before. I'm making this up as I go along. Where are we at? Polak says, and we are about to launch the Eve-1, which is the command vessel for this thing. And I decided not to enclose this in a fairing. I'm already seeing some wobbling happening there. So this might be a mistake. But we'll, you know what? We'll see what happens. Why is that thrust at half? That's weird. Okay, so let's just see what happens. This is our first go. We're off. We're off, we're off, we're off with a very, 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 very ugly booster. Which didn't blow up on the pad, so step one passed and successful. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I just realized this. On the off chance that this actually... Oh! These are level 0 Kerbals. I do not have locked prograde. So I'm just going to have to manually steer it along. That's okay. It's not their fault. That might have been reason enough to put a probe body on this thing. I do have in my settings for this, because each set of Kerbals only does one mission. Once a Kerbal has accomplished a mission, they don't do another mission. So I do have in my settings that they get experience as they go. But I believe what I was saying, before I forgot what I was saying, is that, oh, I hate not being able to lock the prograde. I might just put a probe body on there just for that. And I don't trust the aerodynamics of this thing to turn off the SAS. So I'm not going to do that. But I didn't even look at where my target is for what I should be docking to, because I wasn't thinking. So if this actually ends up working well, let's reduce thrust. I'm spending too much time thinking about steering. We're not going to be in a good spot in all likelihood for doing a rendezvous. But I gotta be honest, this is working better than I thought. I might just go with it. If you're stunned, I am more stunned. Okay. So, yeah. All right, we'll reduce throttle a little more, just following that prograde vector. We pitch up a little bit. Still got a reasonable amount of, still got over 400 meters per second in those radio boosters before I get on to the upper stage. Oh, life without lock to prograde. I hate it. Okay, just about to lose those side boosters there. Might want to give a bit more throttle because it'll be under less thrust in a moment. There they go. Throttle up a bit. Get rid of that fairing. Oops, I pushed quick save. I hit F5 instead of 5 for that fairing. Okay, and just gonna keep it on there. I don't want to launch this again. This went fine. I am not. Is it okay? I'm really curious though because I in no way looked at where my target was. So let's go for 75 kilometers. A little lower. Just be in a different orbit than our target orbit. Oh, I was seeing that red glow and going, what the hell? And it's all the red lights I put down there. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, we are almost at 75 kilometers. So I'm just going to cut the throttle. There we go. We're almost in space too. A little bit of wobbliness happening with these guys. Maybe I should have. I did not strut any of this. You know what I might do? I might. I didn't put anything into our inventories. That was something, again, not really thinking. But what I might just do is I got struts here that will soon be superfluous. I might just grab my Mr. Engineer, or my Miss Engineer, I'm sorry, and I may just swipe them. We might borrow them. Booster's not going to need them soon. Okay, we're in space. Okay, what is that TWR at the bottom? Oh, it's still not very high. That's good. Oh, here we can deploy our solar panels. Yeah, I've not looked at where the target is yet, so I have no idea. We got quite a lot of, we got fuel here, so we'll definitely take advantage of this little fella down here and make the most out of it. We will soon have, what's our inclination? Half a degree. It's not terrible. It is wonky. We got some wonkiness happening. And 20 seconds still. My periapsis is at negative 49 kilometers, so I do not. I'm gonna wait to just 10 seconds and just throttle up a little bit here. Here we go. This isn't gonna take too much. And then we get to see the bad news as to where our target is. That's good enough. Okay. That's an orbit. We have wobbliness everywhere. I'm definitely going to get that engineer, and I'm going to be swiping some struts and seeing if we can not do something in here. But now comes, where's our oh, wow. Oh, shoot. I was about to say, oh, wow. And yeah, we are completely... We're in the lower orbit, so we're going faster. If I waited just a little longer, it would have been perfect. Now what I could do, we got a fair amount of fuel. Let's just see what we can do here. Question becomes, yeah, let's go with the waste not want not scenario. I mean, I could increase my orbit. You know what? Let's do it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Let's put my orbit up to, you know, we don't need a node. Now I got locked to prograde. Let's put our orbit up to 120 kilometers. He's in 90? Yeah. Because we're ahead. So the whole plan here is simply increasing the altitude of our orbit so that that slows us down and allow... Wait a second. Ah! This isn't it. This is the old Joule 2 vessel. Boop. That is not our... This is our target here. That's an old... That's the vessel that was my rescue vessel for Joule that I left just sitting in orbit because the space plane came down. Okay, so that was a waste of my time. Let's spin around retrograde now. Okay, so I shouldn't have done that. Oh, too many ships being left. That is actually a usable vessel too. Like, all it needs is be refueled in a space plane. Maybe I should have reused it to go to Eve. I probably could have. But no, we're going to build something new. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm bringing down my apoapsis to just be touching the orbit right there. Center this here. Set as a target, turn that off, so don't see that. Okay, and now we're just going to waste our time going around in space. So if I put a maneuver there, let's move it forward, and just start popping ahead orbits. With each orbit, these will be getting closer together. Unfortunately, our orbits aren't very different. And now with a little maneuver here, I didn't hit the number. Okay, I got a 1.6 kilometer separation there. That's definitely going to be good enough. I'm surprised our inclination isn't more different. But unfortunately, this burn is... Oh, this burn's coming up in 11 minutes, but then it's not going to be for a couple of days. I'll lower this throttle. Way down. Way down. 0.5. There. 2-second burn with that absolutely ridiculously low. Okay, so let's spin this around. Oh, I still want to steel struts. Don't let me forget to steel struts. I want to get this all docked together before this stream is done. Get this stuff together. Get that silliness out of the way so that next week we are ready to blow on out of here. Oh my gosh. Oh, and I haven't even... yeah, I have not even looked at my Eve window yet. Absolutely 100% not. So, like, being in orbit for a couple of days ain't going to be nothing, because definitely, unless I'm really, really lucky, because I didn't even look, unless I'm very lucky, there's no... I'm not... I can get my words out. I'm not getting any... The Eve window is still a long way off. So, I'll time warp all of that silly Eve window stuff away, so that I'll be at the Eve window for next week for the stream. Okay. So this is a very tiny burn. So I'm just going to do this very slowly. Just adjusting my period ever so slightly. There. Okay, and now I have this 1.5 kilometers coming up in 2 days. So we're going to have to do a few orbits. So what I can do... Yeah, the easiest thing to do is first quick save, because I'm always paranoid when it comes to... So this maneuver up there is just a dummy maneuver. I don't have to do it. It's just there to tell me how many orbits I need to do. Boop. But now I should be seeing... Yeah, 1.5 kilometers in 25 minutes. See, the time warp doesn't take too long. And... what is... Our relative velocity must be minuscule as well. Yeah, 27 meters per second. Maybe give myself a little bit more throttle here. Oh, I still haven't swiped the... Okay, here. Just realized I still haven't swiped those struts like I said I'm going to. EVA Jason here. Get down there, Jason. We have struts to steal. So we're going to open up this fella. And we're going to see, can I just take this? What might be my best option? Just to do that to there? Why not? I wish I had 8 of them now, but I only have 4. I was thinking, should I strut to the central core, or should I strut to these together? But I think strutting to the central core is the better plan. Oh, that one's... I don't have anything on this outside one. Oh, he's gonna laser that one. I'm always going to the left. This is honestly one of the best additions, in my opinion, is this being able to get a Kerbal out and do stuff like this. Always fun. Okay. No, I'm not going to put it on you. Put it there. Nice. Okay. So I'm hoping that will make things a little less wobbly. Whoa, don't shoot! Almost took out that solar panel. I got to be careful for that. I did not pack repair kits. Another oversight on my part. So if we take out a solar panel... we'll be fine on one. If I take both of them out, then... yeah. Okay. Let's see. Still... nope, I'm on the wrong thingy. There we go. Still 15 minutes away. We can get ourselves a little closer. You get a strut. You get a strut. I'm seeing the Oprah of struts. Everybody gets a strut. Fortunately, just one. There might be struts that I can steal. There may be more struts to steal when we get there. Wouldn't surprise me. Alright, about 3 minutes away. Should be able to see... there they are. Coming up from below. It's a little wonky along this way, that's for sure, but that might be some more. Maybe once I lose this, it might get better. Okay, so we're gonna see if we can reduce this distance just a little bit. That's doing the trick. Same time slowing me down relative to my target. That's not doing the trick. That's actually making it worse. Oh my gosh. Stop. Stop. You think about it. No, I have to go. That's really weird. I would think. Okay, I gotta figure out which way is gonna make this better. Me over this way? That's making it better. I think I need to get that retrograde vector above that target. I was looking the wrong way. There we go. No panic, still a long ways off. Okay, 600 meters separate. Okay, I'm going to stop for a little bit because we're 4.5 minutes away. I don't want to let myself get a little closer. We'll reduce this some more. I'm thinking about struts and repair kits. What I could do also between the two streams is bring up a space plane with a little bit of a supply run for these guys. Between this week and next week, give them some repair kits, give them some extra struts. That's a possibility too. We'll see. We're still in low orbit. Lots of things, still lots of options are available to us. Again, just reducing that distance. You can actually see the target now. It's not just simply a waypoint. Yeah, I would definitely recommend the DLCs. I miss things when suddenly I think, oh yeah, that's in the DLC. Especially if you, don't have access to mods. My favorite is the Making History DLC because of all of the parts that it gives, especially those, what is it, 1.875? The size between 1.25 and 2.5. It has a size between those, and those are super duper handy. All right, we got a 34 meter separation now. Whoa! Ho, ho, ho. Is the sun going to be coming up soon? I hope so. Yeah, I might do some more auto strutting in here. This is kind of going... Oh, well, then again, it probably doesn't help. Let's turn that gimbal limit way down. That always shakes things up when you have a big, heavy engine bell at the bottom there doing its wonky thing. Just again closing that distance, getting that right on there. Put that on there. Always watching my time. Last stream, I had an embarrassing situation where I just blew right by the target. So I don't want, well, my relative speed's only 5.7 meters per second, so that's not going to happen. Now, what the plan's going to be here, because there is a booster here that's still got quite a lot of fuel in it, and this guy's now got quite a lot of room in it. So I'm thinking what I might do is actually first dock with this. Steal the liquid fuel and oxidizer, well, get as much of it out of here as I can and put it into this booster, and we'll use this, well, let's, talking about blowing right past, come on. And, there we go. And use this booster as part of our initial ejection burn to get out of Kerbal. I mean, again, waste not, want not. I got the fuel up here in orbit. I'm going to use it. Yes, that will leave debris in orbit around Kerbal, and I honestly, really honestly don't care. I used to be really fastidious about debris in low orbit. Now I don't care. I really don't. Okay, so here we're gonna knock off a little bit more speed. Get to about 0.5 meter per second here. And we're gonna see how this RCS works. Okay, we're about 0.5 meter per second. So let's switch over to the other vessel. And what I want to do is undock this. Come back to this. Oops. This one. That's the one. Control it. Yep. I should have some reasonable control here. So let's take this docking port. Tag that there. All right, let's go back to this one. Take this docking port. Tag it here. Back again. We'll do the lazy way of controlling from here. Should be a Clampatron Senior. Why do I not have the control? Do I not have... I don't have control of this. Is it out of electricity? Oh, for frackle's sakes. Okay. I was going to orient it. It's out of electricity. The whole vessel can't be out of electricity, can it? No, just that. It just drained that first. Oh, you stinker. Okay. So, okay, we're going back to here. I'm going to set this as a target. We're going to have to wiggle our way over there. Well, that's just rude. That's just rude. There's going to be a bit of a squeeze in there. You know what? I'm going to bring down those solar panels because we're going to be... Oh, this thing ain't nimble. There we go. Oh, I forgot to fix that. Shoot. I usually toggle off the yaw, pitch, and the roll. Okay, going into this... Oh no, put this on here. So that it won't waste monopropellant with all that stuff. Yaw, pitch, roll. Fortunately, now I got to go through each one of them. Yaw, pitch, roll. Oh, I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. I was planning on pointing this straight at me, but of course, it's going to be that way, isn't it? Oh, we're going way below it. Well, that might not be bad. Let's let it... Oh, the sun's come up. Let's come below it. And then go up. Coming below is better than crashing into it. I'll keep turning off these. It's not all of them by any stretch. Which way's north? That way. Okay. Okay, I can see. Oh, that way. Thankfully, I do have a lot of monopropellant on this thing. Oh, I got back up, and I'm not lined up very well either. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is turning into a headache because this thing's such a meanie. And I didn't turn the... Okay. Oh, all of those RCS things are driving me crazy. I hate it. All it's saying is like, you're using up all this monoprop. And I'm out. Oh, for goodness sakes. I'm out of monopropellant because of that. Because of how much I wasted with that. Monopropellant just died. So... Okay, so we are in the general vicinity of being in the right places. So what I think I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this, well, we'll see. We'll decide whether people let me know whether they want to see this or not. But we are still in low orbit. I can bring up some monopropellant. I can bring up some supplies. That was just dumb. Maybe slap together a really quick little rocket, bring it up here, dock it with this, go through this thing too, and just turn off all the yaw pitch, because that's how I used up all the monopropellant is, you know, every attitude change, it was using up monopropellant for that, and that just ate through it all, so that's unfortunate, but nothing, yeah, mistakes were made. Mistakes are always made, but not a fatal mistake by any stretch. So, what we'll do is we'll bring up some more monopropellant for these guys. We'll get this together. We'll consolidate our fuel resources. We'll dock this with our lander, and we will get ourselves heading out towards Eve. But all of that is going to have to be for next week. So in the meantime, I'm going to thank everybody in the chat. I'm going to thank everybody that is watching this at a later time. And of course, as always, a very, very, very special thank you to my Patreon patrons and my YouTube members. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and we will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.